and we're in the back. Didn't mark it well, but I think that where we're at actually is number number Vav, or we're on page Tafshin Yud Aleph is what I think we're at, and that we actually had gotten down to number Vav. I believe that's where it was, number Vav. We'll see if we did that already. I think maybe I did it already. I don't remember. So let's get closer and let's see how it looks. So let's read from number Bet here, where it says, "V'izgalian inen busmin de tipsa." Okay, so we had projected it is that with the removal of the shefa from up above of the Penimius, then everything is exposed to the klipa. So we kind of saw that idea, but they have different definitions here. He says, Reba or Yochai, I'm going to read across the top and we'll try to get through this and keep going. Look at the or Yochai Rieshecha Shabir the Fidarko Lael. He said the Ire Kan his Gavrus Hadinim Baosios, these two particular Eosius, which are Teferis and Malchus, Vav and Dalad, which are Teferis and Malchus. Machbas Histalkos, the Yud El Yonet, the Chochma Ein Shaman, so that's basically a theme here. So here we see that the word has changed. It's not the same word exactly. Busmin or pusmin, what does pusmin mean? So on number Daled, he had gone through, I thought we did this already. I could read it again so we could see that. He says, Kach Hiddennesses or Yakar. So he changed the word a little bit. So he says, Reb L'cholon shekasav amethus postmim lo nizbar lano in yano. So if that's what it is, he says we don't have a good definition. Uva nidfas is sekan. So we have that busmim besumim. So what's that all about? Who al pi hagos derek emes the rizal kan. Mihu Girsis the first Rishon, which was from Mantova or Cremona, he says, Kan, who that is Putmin, is a different word. Bir Girsis the first Rishon, Reb Sefer Derek Emes, he says, I don't have that Sefer, Va'im Rebina. So he says, in that Sefer, he says, Al Gilyon, let me move this over. Gilyon is over, V'zecha Putmin. Pirish Osan Roshi Hatzir, those are the, I don't know what you mean by the tops of a form. I don't know what other formation. Hamitztairim Lepol Din Ba'olam, which are formed up, maybe a template or just an organization, a seder there that is formed up in some way, the Pol Din Ba'olam Adkan. V'hine Pirish Kan the Putmim Hainu Roshim. So that would be their definition. So plug that definition there. Of a tufsa of a hainu of a tzir. The hainu. So what does this mean? He says tzir. The hainu ka'ayin pirish arach l'holon. V'rei o l'holon. Ma shabir b'zohar chai. Kan begirsus potmim al pi divrei ha'orach ein shom. Orech aruch ein shom. Let's go on a little bit more from that dollar that we were looking at, and let's read behind that. And it says, so he says, pusmim the tufsa. So one possibility is that tufsa pirusha chosim. It means a seal. So what's this all about? So he says, what happens? It reveals the seal. That would be a kind of idea. Pusmim, which means pirusha chosim. V'hu kiloid the teferis of malchus. Shehem chosim called in the soim tachtonim. So little, I wouldn't have said it like this, so I'm not sure that I understood what he says. He says, because it's a seal, shehem chosim, the seal of all those things which are found in the lower world. I'm not sure what he means by seal, though. Does it mean that the lower worlds can't automatically come up to that level? Or this is the end of the upper level, and then after, I'm not sure what he means by nimsoim tachtonim. The chosim call on nimsoim, the chosim of everything that is found in the lower world. V'omer Kanshin is Galu Matach Betzius Teferis Malchus. What's it saying? That's what it's saying. Vofen shall his Gavras Adinim in the way that as they are revealed, then there's a Gavras Adinim. Mach Basilu Shorsham Elyon Canal. Number bet, he says, Tufsa Pirusha Luvushi. So he says, Luvushi Balui his Chavos. So it's rags that are dragged along the ground. That's what it sounds like. But begonim beluyim haneschavim v'negrorim ba'aretz that are dragged along the ground. Now, what does that mean? V'hu kinoi ala chitzonim is a concept of something which is ragged. He's saying the chitzonim are metaphorized that way. Shedesgalo b'shas his gavros adinim, which are revealed at the time that the dinim are becoming very powerful. Let's look at number Hey down below. Visa Rei Gamba or Benezer Yisroel, excuse me. Kan. The Chorah Bebir Ka'ayin Zera Be'inin Busmara de Tipsa. More definitions. The Hainu Dinim. Tupsa, he says, Busmim de Tipsa is that when the Penimiut is removed, then you have this the Hainu Dinim, the Dinim are revealed. V'zecher shona betoch devar shenistalek Eric Anpin Mizer Anpin. Okay, this causes that disconnection. Oz is Galian the Dinim, and then automatically the Dinim are there and they're revealed. Okay. Below this parish, Eich Mevar Lefi Zecher Pirish Amilos Busmim the Tipsa doesn't really explain it. Rei Gamba Ara, so he's going to have more to say. So let's move on for number Hey up above, and we'll go to after that. And the Vizecha V'Lashon HaOr Yakar, this is what the Or Yakar says, Sham. V'Isgalian Inen Postmem de Tufsa. He said, V'Hida B'Milas Tufsa, Pirish Ba'aruch, the Aruch says, he says, number Bet, number Vav, there's a Vav there, but we'll go on. Shnei Derachim. So it's talking about two different paths. He says, what does that mean? So he says, Echad, there we go, let me come back here. Echad is tipas, pirush, shehu kli nechoshes. So this is a hard one here. Let's see what he says. He says that this is a brass kli, sheyesh bo tziurim, that has different forms on it. Like it sounds like a stamp. V'heim lifnei hazgagim. This is something that glass and glaziers do. Lifnei hagazer shebo mitzarim kli zakuches be'es shenofchim oso. So that this is the zagagim, which are formed up by a kli, on a kli of glass. Be'es shenofchim oso. When the glass makers, I've never really seen this done, but I just read about it. They blow through it and they blow it up. V'chein tarbon yonasim b'pasuk, and this pasuk v'yetzer osacho b'cheret v'rama yase b'tufsa. So he brought it up, I guess, with this kli, which is called a tufsa. The fi zecha v'inyana lashon chosim. So if that's the case, we're back to this definition where it means a seal shabo machtimim u'matzarim suros. For that, I don't see how the word machtimim goes here, and they form different images. Hainu tofis. So what's the images? That's the word tofis. So therefore, it's really a nickname or an alternate name for these two letters, Vav and Dalet, Shehem Chosen Hanimsoid, which comes to the same statement that was said earlier, which comes to the concept of a seal, Hanimsos, Hanimsoim, B'tachtonim. It's a seal that are, he has an alternate girsa here on the Misoim, or okay, it's the same thing more or less. Mitzos or Nimsoim, Hatachtonim, Tiferes Malchum Besod Hadin Hakasha Lamata. Does that mean they're sealed in din? I'm not sure what he meant by sealed here. Galas Mitziyusam, the Tiferes Malchum. So now then, when we see that they are revealed, he wants to add that in with their dinim surrounding them, shehem nifradim mishorshim, which happens as a result of being separated from the root of the light that's coming, which is from Eric Anpin, he says, through Zer Anpin. Hadin misgaver mislavhiv v'derek period. So because they become more and more powerful as this is revealed. So this is the nature of katnas. We were learning about katnas yesterday, where it's the kista the chiyasa, it's the basic life force. That's what it is. So bedin misgavrim shenis. So the second way is this. Ba'aruch, it's also in the Aruch over there, Sham. The Pirish Tafes, that word Hainu, Bilui Haschavos, this is dragging the rags. Metargaminan Biloi Tafsa, that's what it means. It means dragging the rags. So therefore, understand the concept of the rags refers to the kitzonim sheim vadai levushi bilui aschavos. So once again, this phrase, I'm translating it as rags, bilui asos rags, aschavos that are dragged along the ground. They're dirty. B'kol inyan echad, it's all one idea. Now, this is not such an easy idea to think of how we got to that. The main idea here looks the Iker, b'mitzias alashon, midas posmim lo nizbara lana inyana. So we have different words, as often happens. There was one that we left behind in the biurim down below, and he says on number vav. He says Rei ba'aruch sham v'zel l'shono. The first says the tafes bilui schavos, so dragging rags. Targum beloy tipsing. So he says, well, look over here. That's what it says. That's one idea. Number beit, tafes v'yetzeros. So they formed it. Becheret with, I guess it's some kind of a tool for that's used for that. Targum Yonason says, Varama Yase, they lift it up. Let's see what else he says here. Batifsa, Tafsa, Pirush, Tafsa, Klish Yesh Lifne Zagogim. So glaziers, it's a kli that is used by people who make glass vessels. The bow base the gimbal diffusim, it has two different images, I guess. It sounds like a stamp, something like that. I'm not sure how it works. Bo base the gimbal diffusim. And that in those diffusim they use it for formatting. I'm not sure. Yesh sear bullets. So he says. So in other words, it's used to make images in glass. Yesh sear bullet, v'yesh sear mushuka. So there's a kind of a form that sticks out from the glass. There's another kind that is sunk into it. So when the glazier starts blowing inside of it, into that glass, mashkia be'eza klisha yertza, he's able to cause it to go into whatever kli that he wants via acid seraso, and it will make that image in the glass. We had some time where we worked with antiques. There's a difference between cut glass and press glass. So this is cutting an image into glass, is very delicate. So like a glazier who does his work quickly. I don't know where this is coming from. It's the same idea again when they made the Egel Azov, that it happened fast. Now, there's more to this, and I don't know what it is. So let's go on to number Gimel up above and see what number Gimel says. Number Gimel says, Reb Bahadras Melech, and what does Hadras Melech says? Shabir Lefi Darko La'el, he explains the Ayrecha Begilu Yisod the Nukva. This is talking about the revelation of the Yisod and the Nukva. What is it revealing? It's showing it. The Nukva al Yeder Histalkul Zer Anpen Menukva Einsham. So we have different kinds of Histalkuls here, but ultimately that is what that will happen. For the Zer Vibir Kan the Ozmiz Galim Gam Hamayan Nukvin, because what happens then, and this is a thought to think about, what he wants to say here, What happens when you reveal the nukva? For the zecha v'bir kan the ozmis galim gam ha-mayim nukvin. What is mayim nukvin? So, in other words, the source of mayim nukvin, which is really our prayers and what we want to get to. He says, Sheheba bechinas neshamos amutznoim b'yisod the nukva. So he says something. What is mayim nukvin? He says that the definition of that would be neshamos penimiut of Hashem inside. Hamutznaim b'yisod the nukva, which are hidden inside of the yisod of the nukva. He's saying that is what mayim nukvin is. V'yidei kach nigram is gavros adinim, and by pulling this out, you're revealing the dinim are becoming stronger and stronger. And we're going to see this later on, and we have just a couple of minutes. Let's look at number Zion here. He says, number Zion says, Rei Gam Bahadras Melech L'Holon. Let me see, I don't have this up. Once again, Rei Gam Bahadras Melech L'Holon, V'zeh L'Shonda V'totze Ha'aretz Shehi Malchus, Dasha Neshamos Kedusha. So he says Dasha. So what's Malchus brings out Dasha? What's Dasha? So Dasha, he says, is Neshamos Kedushas. Ki Goram Misha She Hoya Lepasach Chatos Rovet. So he says, Ki Gorish is sent away. Misha Hoya Lepasach Chatos Rovet. So that's this concept by the door of sin. It's where it hovers. The Izdake Mishkana. The Izdake means to purify the Mishkan ad kan. So purify the mission of that, send it away. That was those words. The nukva, that's where the real source of the klipa wants to hang out, because at that place wants to live, because that is the place of the shamos, which are the mayim nukvin. He's saying like that. This is that when you bring up mayim nukvin, it sounds like the Arba Mises Beis Din or something like that. He says you're actually bringing up your soul. He said that is, you're bringing the neshama up. The nukva shuhu makom haneshamos is the place where the neshamas are staying. Now, what all that means, it seems like it's a deep idea to me. V'zecho v'sod the pesach chatas rovates, because that's where they hang out, so to speak. That's where they live. They live near the source of the neshama, so the mayim nukvin, they want to get into that. So I'm going back, I bent back up into that paragraph, and we're going to have to finish up here in a minute. He said, V'hine eluch neshamas nekroim busmin. So the neshamos, which are hidden inside of the yisod of the nuk, he said, busmin besomim. So he said, V'yisod the nukva nikra tipsa the hainu arges. It's like a box. V'zel l'shono sham v'kat is talak hai zer anpin. Now zer anpin, we had seen in other places. He says he seals the opening when there's a yichud there to the yisod of the nukva, which now he's telling us houses the neshamos and the mayim nukvin of the person, everything he has to give. Az is galin inin busmin romas the mayim nukvin hem and neshama should be yisoda. Appears the tipsa kamon argan. So tipsa means like a box. Shabo hema neshamas mutznoim ad kan. Now we may have enough. We have enough time to just look at this little number ches, which doesn't have a lot to it. He says Rei Rashi. He said there's other shono tipsa. This is what Rashi says in the Masechta Yevamos. He says arges. It's a box ad kan. V'chein hi barashi. So we see that other places, and that's the shir today.